So let's talk about the last days, because I can't tell you how many times I've heard people say we are actually in the end times right now. Or let me point out that this phrase, this false expression, end times, is not even found in the Bible. It's not found in the New Testament or in the Old Testament, not once. And as it goes for the false expression end times, I know it's an adaptation of Daniel chapter 12, verse 13, which is ending of the days. And the word days is a key word in this biblical phrase. Days, not times. In the Greek text, last days is actually found about 4 times. We're here in 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 3. We see the connection with scoffers in relationship to the presence of the Lord, the personally being present of Jesus Christ according to the last days. Watch my video 66 and learn what the word parousia actually defines. Where then again in James chapter 5, we see the parousia mentioned again, verse 7. So be far from grimming, brothers, till the presence of the Lord, when the Lord returns in relationship to the last days here. So we're not in the last days until Christ physically returns again to execute judgment. Let's talk about the word days some more. If we go back to Daniel chapter 12, the days have to do with the enumerated days here, which is the second half of Daniel's 70th week. Those same days accords with the statement of Jesus in Matthew 24:15, when you perceive the abomination of desolation. We're not perceiving the abomination of desolation, folks. And then the great tribulation mentioned down here in verse 21 is Daniel 12:1. Okay? Right here. Where Daniel 12:2 is the resurrection of John chapter 5, verses 28 and 29. Okay? And many out of those sleeping in the edema of the dust will wake up, and all those virgins awaken. Here's the resurrection in the last days, which has not happened yet. And these to the living ones of the eon, and these to the revilements for the deterrence of the eon hence. And those having done the good will go out into resurrection of life, and those practicing the malicious into resurrection of judgment, according to the judgment authority here. So he gave him also the judgment to do authority when Christ comes in his presence in the last days, which we are not in, folks. We are not in the last days until the resurrection takes stand here. Where parabolically the watch times of the night outlined in Mark 13:35 reveal that the great affliction isn't until the third watch time. The 1335 days and the dragging along reaches here. Midnight is when 5 of the virgins enter the wedding feasts, according to what I talk about in my pinned videos here. Okay, watch my pinned videos and learn how to understand the sequences of events according to the watch times parables that Jesus gives. Which now brings us to Hosea chapter 6, where this word translated black redness in the Devar translation is the designation of the fourth watch time. Morning here, morning. So here we see a clue of the watch time mentioned, where when we back up here, when it says he will enliven us from the end of a double day, again, according to the last days, onward, in the third day, he will raise us up. He's talking to third watch timers. This is the context here. And we will live before his face. And we will pursue to know Yahweh as black redness is prepared. So, the context of the end of the double day are these days. Each watch time can be looked at as a day. And this is the third day. So the end of the double day, and in the third day, third watch time. Here in Luke chapter 24, notice the third day mentioned by the men. But we expect that he is the one being about to redeem Israel, but also together with all these things, indeed, we had the third day since this came to be. There are a lot of third watch timers who will not come into the wedding feasts at midnight, but they will have to come in at the conclusion of the 1335 days, even Daniel. But you, Daniel, you go to your ending and you will repose and take stand toward your lot toward the ending of the days. Okay? The days of the last days, encompassing the enumerated days, which again, the dragging along blissful are those, are the same blissful are those of Luke 12:38 according to the third watch time. The last to come in dragging along into the allotment of the sons of God. Or let me finish by saying we also find the phrase last day singular concerning the rising. In the last day, the last who will rise. Or finally understand that the word rise here is what happens when we enter the wedding feast. So those who have not yet entered in their order are awakened first before they rise. So there's orders, rise first, and then those who rise in the last day are rise last. Where I talk about this in this video, 33, the difference between rise and awaken. God bless.